is the first standard we're going over, NC.3.OA.1. And a lot of these questions are from last year's EOG or the Case 21, or they're from the district's information that they give us. So the first question says, which answer shows two ways to arrange 35 pennies in equal rows? So let's look for some keywords in there. So we know it's talking about two ways arrange 35 pennies equal. That's a big part right there. So we know that each of these answers, if it's going to be correct, needs to be 35 pennies. So this first one says 6 rows of 5. So let's draw it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows, 5 in each. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an array now. And so what you can do is we got 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So we can skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Or if you understand that 6 rows of 5 is multiplication, you could have just done 6 times 5. And if you knew that, you could do 30. But if you didn't know that, then you could just draw a picture. So I was looking for 35 pennies. So we automatically know this answer isn't correct. Then we have 5 rows of 6. Well, if we know anything about multiplication, is 6 times 5 and 5 times 6 is the same exact thing. They're just switched around. So this is going to be 30, and this is going to be 30, which we know that 30 is not what we're looking for. So now we're going to go to B. 7 rows of 9, or 9 rows of 7. So 7 rows, we're going to do this the easier way. So we don't have to draw those circles. We got 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each row has a 9. So it's the same thing we did up here, except instead of drawing the picture, we just did it out here. So another way for you to do this is 7 times 9. And I know a lot of you find 7 times 9 to be a tricky multiplication to do. So remember, if there is a tricky one we can do, we can break it apart. So let's break the 9 apart. We have 5 and 4. So then we do 7 times 5. 7 times 5, which equals 35. Again, if you still don't know what 7 times 5 is, then break it apart. And then 7 times 4 is 28. You're not done there. Since we broke it apart, now we got to put it back together. So we put our 35 and 28 back together. So we have 30 plus 5 and 20 plus 8. 30 plus 20 is 50. 8 plus 5 is, we got 8 plus 2 more, break it apart, and that's 10. Then plus 3 more, just 13. Now we got to move this over, so now we have 60 plus 3, that's 63. Okay, we have 6 rows of 9 is 63. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for 35 pennies. It says, or 9 rows of 7. Well, 9 rows of 7 is just the opposite of 7 rows of 9, and we know that is not correct. So next one is 4 rows of 6. Again, let's do 4 rows, 4 rows, 6. This one is probably going to be a little bit easier to count up. The 9s were kind of hard, but the 6s are pretty easy. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 plus 6 equals 12. So now we have 10 plus 10 plus 2 plus 2. So we have 24. Well, we know 4 rows of 6 is 24, and 6 rows of 4 has to be 24, and we're looking for 35 pennies, so this one we know cannot be correct. 7 rows of 5, or 5 rows of 7. So let's try this one. 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one should be easy because you can skip count, because we know how to skip count by our 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So we know that this is 35. So we know we're looking for 35. So we know that that's correct, and they're equal. There's 5 in each row. Let's double check over here and make sure this, because it says 2 ways. So let's make sure this one is correct too. 5 rows of 7. What we've been talking about is 7 rows of 5 and 5 rows of 7 is the same thing. They just switched around. So this is 35, and this is also 35. So we know this one is correct.